It's going live. Okay. I have clicked the go live button. So I am hopefully, in theory, live now. I've not done much streaming on YouTube, so I don't know how well these things actually work. I'm going to give a few minutes here to see if people join, because theoretically I clicked the go live button, so that should have sent a notification to anyone who's following my second channel. But I think I actually just got, I guess I just got the notification for myself. But what I realistically need to do is share the link to this stream on Twitter and on YouTube. Let's see, going live shortly with a coding stream. Gonna try implementing ChatGPT Plays Pokémon, the way that works, real time. Come hang out. Okie dokie. That's been twote. I have tweeted. And so now what I need to do is to make a community post. Yes. I think I will just say the exact same thing, except I will specify on the second, on my shiny new second channel, come hang out. And then can I just pop, oh, that didn't get the link. Can I just pop the link here? Is that gonna work, or do I have to actually what if I make this a, yeah, there we go. If I make that an actual video link, this video does not exist. Yes, it does. Is this gonna work? Is it going to actually embed the live stream? Or even, is it even gonna work as a link? It's like if I go here, is it going to actually embed the live stream? Or even, is it even gonna work as a link? It's like if I go here, is it going to actually embed the live stream? Or even, you're gonna hear my echoing now. Although that's fine, because no one's watching yet. I mean, this is a watch page link, right? So if I embed that, there we go. Okay. I don't know why that wasn't working before. Going live shortly with the coding stream on my second new check-in channel. I'm gonna try implementing ChatGPT Plays Pokémon in a way that works in real time. Come hang out. Post. There we go. I have posted. I have tweeted. And I can even share it with my friends. Let's see. Gonna stream now. Okay. There we go. I have successfully posted on the internet. Let's see if anyone shows up. And if not, maybe the second channel's just not appealing enough. No one wants to come hang out on the second channel. Let's see. I said I would start this stream at 3, and you know what? It's not 3 yet. So we'll see. We're waiting. You know what I can do in the meantime is I can make a new OBS scene for when I will be BRB text. I don't know how people name their OBS scenes and so on, but I am a professional streamer. Do I like it in all caps like that? I feel like I want it more casual, you know? All lowercase. BRB. That's the vibe. That's the vibe that I'm feeling. And we will add a new scene transition for a slide, a stylish slide. No. This is going to be a slide from the top. Just like that. Look at that. I am now a professional streamer. And so if I disable studio mode now, whenever I need to like leave, I can go sha. Would you look at that? That's magic right there. Okay. Well, I was thinking that I would try and implement ChatGPT Plays Pokemon in a way that will actually work real time. So if you see on my second channel, I have, where is it? If I go here, and I just had a link literally right there. Yeah, so I had this video, ChatGPT Plays Pokemon, with the, new Vision GPT-4 model, all that good stuff. And this was just kind of like a quick and dirty, slap something together kind of proof of concept, prototype, whatever you want to call it. And that was mostly limited by the rate limit, because the Vision model is still currently in preview, I guess is what they call it. And so it was operating under a very strict, like 100 requests per day rate limit. But very recently they've started increasing that rate limit. So I'm on usage tier 2. I've given OpenAI at least $50 of my hard-earned money. And so now I'm entitled to 1,000 requests per day. Would you look at that? 1,000 requests. And that's still not quite enough to do like an ongoing live stream, something that's just running continuously. But it definitely gives us more room to play with. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they have a place somewhere on the OpenAI dashboard, wherever, where it's like, where it actually tells you how close you are to the next usage tier. Because theoretically I could like prepay some amount and theoretically get bumped up to usage tier 3, which would get me up to 1,500 requests per day, which is still not quite enough. Even tier 4 with 2,000 requests per day is still not quite enough to do like a continuous, ongoing, all-day live stream. But tier 5, once you've reached $1,000 of your hard-earned money that you've given to OpenAI, that is enough. That's enough requests to have a thing that's just like running continuously all day. And I don't even know if that's what I want, right? Because it would end up costing a lot of money to run something 24/7. But I figured I would at least, just for funsies, if nothing else, try and put something together. Even if I don't run it for a whole day or multiple days continuously. Whatever. People seem to like this thing that was just slapped together, and I think it'd be fun if it was a live stream. If it was in some way viewer interactive, so on and so forth. So that's what I'm going to be trying to put together today, as best I can. Let's see. What was I going to say? Oh yes, and the other reason I'm even bothering to code anything today, when usually I don't even have the motivation to do that, is I have been solicited by JetBrains with their what do they call it? Their user research stuff to try their new AI coding assistant feature in IntelliJ. So I figured this is a good excuse to try that as well. And I'm honestly not expecting much from it because, quite honestly, it's probably just going to be GitHub Copilot, but worse. But we'll be trying that along the way as well. Okay. So let's talk about what I have so far, what I have from this video, right? So that's this script. And what it basically is, or like what it basically does is you run it and it just calls this main function. And then it stores all its state, well, partly in Mongo and partly just like in files here in this folder. But basically every time you call this main method, it will execute a turn, right? So it'll construct this prompt for ChatGPT out of, the data that it has in the database and the data that it has on the, in that folder. It'll call ChatGPT, ask it, and, like parse out the button presses and stuff. And then it'll load up PyBoy, the emulator, with the most recent save state. So it'll grab this. I've got this folder with just a whole bunch of save states for every single turn. So it'll load up the most recent save state. And then there's some really nasty code here, which is mostly written by ChatGPT, or by GitHub Copilot, I should say. ChatGPT would have written something better than this, but that's how you can tell this is a quick and dirty prototype. Anyway, it'll do button presses, right? So based on the sequence of buttons that ChatGPT requested, it'll press those buttons. Then it'll wait for 1,000 frames, which is much longer than it needs to be. It'll take a screenshot after each button press, then save those screenshots to the disk, and it'll keep doing that for every single button press. And then at the end, it will take a save state, and then it'll collect all that data. Actually, no, we're not even there yet. So next, it'll get the commentary. So it'll call off to the OpenAI TTS endpoint to read out the commentary, and it'll save that they'll save that just to an MP3 file on disk here somewhere. Excuse me. Then finally, as output, it has a Discord bot, which is where it will actually save the or it'll actually like show the commentary. Somewhere in here, I don't know where it is where it's saving to Mongo as well. Where is it actually happening? That must be happening somewhere. Why can't I say it? Hi Mongo, it'll connect to... Oh, client. Client is... Oh yeah, here, insert one. I don't know why I couldn't see that. I was just blind. Actually, that's a good excuse to try out the new JetBrains AI assistant. I would like to ask it a question, please. Okay, and I will say, where in this code is it saving to Mongo? I don't think this is gonna actually... Oh, what? It got... Oh, that's weird. It's like, because the code had backticks in it, I guess, or something. It just didn't get formatted correctly. But hey, here, it happens near the end of the function. It found the line. So hey, there you go. JetBrains AI assistant. It does something. That wasn't any faster than just searching for it myself, but whatever. Anyway, so that's what I have in terms of like actually running the thing, right? And then to make this video where you're actually like watching it, I had this, so I made this second thingy. Hopefully there's no like API keys. There shouldn't be in here. And so this will basically load that data from Mongo, and then it'll just go turn by turn. It'll grab the narration, figure out how long the narration was, and then it will have just a continuously running instance of PyBoy. But still, each turn it'll load that save state. I do it twice. There was some reason for that. I think it like wasn't updating the display or something like that. But then it also has it'll load each save state, then just replay the button presses, just continuously. But while it's doing that, it's also got this WebSocket server that is sending out the information about each turn in real time to the front end here, which is just a very quick and dirty React application, which is listening to those WebSocket messages, and then in OBS, that would be like a what do they call it? A browser source, right? So you would add a browser source that is this application. So then you've got OBS capturing the game window, and then also you have just this web page here that's getting things from the WebSocket server. So what I want to do is make that all work in real time. So right now the way it works is you run this guy a bunch of times and it'll play, turn after turn after turn, and it'll save everything to Mongo. And then later you run this script, which goes turn by turn by turn, replaying what happened and just like showing it on screen. So I want that to all happen in parallel, which means you're going to get to watch me fumble around with like multi-threaded stuff in Python, which, to be quite honest, I have not done a whole lot of, but whatever. So I'll make a new folder, and actually probably I should make a Git repo, right? Oh yeah, so the front-end project, this already has a Git repo in it, because that's what Create React App does. I don't want this to have a Git repo. I need to provide administrative permission to delete this folder? Why? To delete the Git folder? I mean, I guess... Yeah, what? Why? Anyway, okay, so this is no longer a Git project. Yes, I would. This is no longer a Git project. Ta-da! I would like to create a Git project here. GPT Pokemon. I don't know why it keeps mentioning this Ubuntu thing. Okay, this is now a Git project. I would like to ignore this folder. And I would like to ignore, this folder. I would not like to, I mean, this already has a git ignore in it. I would like to ignore this folder and this folder and this folder and this file and this file and this file and these files, these files, these files, these files, this file, this file. I don't want any of those. Okay, this is just a bunch of nonsense now. But then everything else I would like to add. And so now I would like to make a commit. This all looks reasonable. I mean, there's just a lot of the stupid Create React App stuff in here. I would like to group by directory. What all do we got here? Oh yeah, I don't think there's anything in here that I particularly want to not check in. Okay. Initial commit. Commit and push. I said push. There's no remote setup here. Please don't analyze. Why are you analyzing the git ignore file? What is that even going to accomplish? But anyway, while IntelliJ does whatever it's doing, let's talk about architecture. And I thought I would do something fancy and like somehow mirror my iPad screen or something so I could draw things, but you know what? That's too much work. Basically, we're going to have 3 threads. Oh, God, this is going to be awful. We're going to have 3 threads going, I think, right? So one is going to be the display. I should probably just type. Hold on. Let me undo that. Oh, I don't know what that just showed. This will be the display. Display / orchestrator orchestrator. So this will be like the main thread that's like actually, that's making everything happen. Then we've got second thread. That's going to be the thing that calls ChatGPT. And then the third thread, the secret sauce, is going to be the thing that reads YouTube comments. So that's going to be the secret sauce of this stream, right? Is we're going to be reading the YouTube comments, and those are going to be fed as input to ChatGPT. So, and then these are all going to communicate over Mongo. Oh, why am I trying to draw with the mouse? Over Mongo. And I don't know. Is Mongo the best tool for the job? Maybe not, but it's what I have on hand, and it works. And I say Mongo, but they're also gonna be like writing things to disk and stuff. The nice thing about Mongo is you can just do like atomic operations and not have to worry about stuff. So the basic flow is we're still gonna have this concept of turns like we did with the old thing, and so this thing is gonna be the thing that makes turns happen. Turn number 4. Let's say we're in turn 4, and so the first thing it does is it will invoke this thread. Okay, yeah, you with me so far? Invoke GPT thread. Yes. Boop. I don't know why. There we go. So that'll invoke the GPT thread. And then it's going to go off and do its own thing, right? So then it's going to display outcome of last turn, right? So this is the start of turn 4. So here, I'll even be explicit about it, of turn number 3. And so that'll be basically what my player script was doing before. So on the last turn, we'll have called this Mongo thread. It will have written things, or to this ChatGPT thread. It'll have written things to Mongo. And so then here, on turn 4, we're going to load that data from turn 3 and display it to the screen. And, that's going to be with PyBoy. It's going to be with the WebSocket stuff. It's going to, play back the commentary, all that good stuff. And then when it's done, we're going to join with ChatGPT thread. Right, so this is why does this have a scroll bar? What the heck? They made Paint so weird and bad. They made a lot of things weird and bad in Windows 11. Why do text boxes have scroll bars? What does that even mean? Okay. Anyway, so that'll be the next thing that happens. Is this thing will be off doing its own thing, and then at the end, one of them's going to finish first, right? They're going to be coroutines. However that works in Python, that's what we're going to figure out together. And then whichever one figures first, either this one will be waiting for this one, or, by the time it gets here, it will have already finished. But then we basically just start anew. Right? We loop back. And that's what's dangerous to me, is having a loop that is going to be calling the OpenAI API. That's a little scary, but we'll see. Anyway, this thing, so it's going to also load outcome of turn number 3, right? Because we're on turn 4, so it's going to load turn 3. And then it's basically going to do what my current script does, with the extra wrinkle of load processed YouTube comments, right? So this thing, I've drawn this arrow here, but actually realistically that arrow is, that's erasing the background. Oh my goodness. Love it. I love new paint so much. Okay. Beautiful. Excellent. So this thing is just going to be read YouTube comments, right? Then it's going to moderate them, which feels like a smart thing to do. It's going to moderate them with the OpenAI moderation API, and then it just writes them to Mongo. So this thing kind of just exists independently of everything else. And so this thing's the thing on the right's writing to Mongo, the thing in the middle is reading from Mongo. Anyway, I don't need to go through all this in super detail. It's going to load the process. YouTube comments, it's going to call ChatGPT, and it's going to make news, screenshots, and stuff, and also get commentary. Yeah, it's going to do the things my existing script does. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully that's enough detail. Let's start actually coding. Why did you not successfully commit? There you go. Okay, so where to start is the question. Let's call him real-time player. Yeah, add him to Git. And he's going to be mostly based on this thing. So we can import a lot of these same methods and stuff. I'm sure IntelliJ is going to start yelling at me that there's duplicated code here, but that's fine. But yeah, these methods, I want this to kind of exist independently of this thing. We want to have a method, yeah, get GPT response, but I don't want this. No, not like that. I don't know if there's a way to like swap what is commented out in a single shortcut, but there we go. Oh, whoops, that actually is a comment. For now, return dummy JSON. Yeah, we don't want to be actually calling out to the API all the time. Likewise, for get commentary, we want to just, for now, grab it. Open commentary path. Oh, I still need that. There we go. So I need this speech.mp3 file to be in there. That can be on Git. I don't know what this actually says.
The selection has been made. Now proceed with the next
just, like,
steps
saying
in
something.
the game setup.
That's fine for now. But now main is where things are going to get a little spicy. Def main. See here, this is the JetBrains AI assistant. Whoa, that's weird. Doing this. It like does what GitHub Copilot does. Here, can I make it autocomplete again? Yeah. But it's just like, so it's not, you can see what it's offering to do. It's just offering to import the things that I already imported up here. It's like, how is that meant to be useful? The only reason I'm using the JetBrains assistant is because of that user research study thing. Anyway, what I need to do, or what I need to look into now, is like async IO in Python, because that I don't really know. Oh, here's some AI help for me. Okay, so like at the very basic level, I can import async IO, right? And then here, so we're going to have two methods, right? And this will be the, what do we call it? What did I call it in my paint thing? The orchestrator. Def orchestrator. So this will be one thread. And that's just going to be a like while true loop. It also needs a Mongo connection. I guess it can. Whoa, it's suggesting a lot of things here. Let's not take those suggestions for now. So we'll have a Shadow's name client. Oh, I'm using the name client twice. Was I always doing that? I guess I was always doing that. That's funny. Okay, this is actually Mongo client, and this is OpenAI. Oops, client. There we go. And we'll have some parameter that's Mongo. Just DB name equals Pokemon test 1. So current turn is going to be client DB name. Oh, sorry, Mongo client. Mongo client DB name dot turns. Yeah, I guess I'll just use that same name. Dot find dot sort. Yeah, all this same stuff. But limit 1. Or can it do like find 1? Why is it not a? I guess it doesn't have the types. Let's see. PyMongo find 1. Not sort. Okay, I'm gonna trust the that I shouldn't need this limit 1 thing. Okay, and for now let's make the well, actually, can I Mongo DB compass? Can I just straight up duplicate a collection without using like Mongo dump? Well, here I can export Pokemon turns, whatever. Then I want a Pokemon test 1 collection called turns, and then I can, okay, that's fine. Import data, turns, import. Okay, that was slightly more manual than I wanted it to be, but whatever. Okay, so now we can do, oh, I did underscores. Okay, so that'll get the current turn, and then just preprint current turn break. And this will call orchestrator, and then we'll have a main, and that'll call main. Oh. Is this not? Oh, you sort equals. Okay. Here, let's let the JetBrains assistant figure it out. It's not even suggesting anything. Here, I'll say grab highest turn. Okay. Now, my magical AI assistant, autocomplete. Okay, I'm hitting the shortcut to make it do the autocomplete thing, and it's not even suggesting anything. AI actions. Generate code. Sort by turn number. Go. Okay. See, now it's written something. It's done in this like weird diff view. Okay, apply that. That looks correct. I mean, whatever, we can run it and see. But like, is this set to format with black? Oh jeez. It's, yeah, I have that set up in PyCharm, but probably not here. Black actions on save. Python interpreter, that one on save. Apply. Yes. reformat. There we go. Okay, does this work? Okay, that returns a... Oh, what? It did... It didn't use find one. Oh my god. This AI assistant thing is useless garbage. I might just switch back to GitHub Copilot. .turns .find one sort equals whatever. Whoopsie. Sort equals... What even is the name of the thing? Turn. Sort turn. Oh my god. Turn. Descending. Okay, is this going to give me an actual object? Okay, yes. This gives me an actual object. So now I want a method called prepare next turn. And what is that going to take? That's probably just for now going to take a turn number, which is an int. But what I want it to do is do it, asynchronously, right? So that's what I need to figure out is coroutines. I feel like what I want here is a coroutine. Yeah, async io.run. Right, now we're going to run into problems with the GIL, I'm sure. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Actually, here, let's let the AI assistant... Okay, it's guessing at what we want, but not correctly. Let's AI actions, generate code, asynchronously prepare the next turn. Go. 10%, 11%, 22%, 23%. Why is it so slow? What is it doing? Is it trying to write the entire thing? I don't know if you can see this little progress bar it's made here. 60s. What? Whoa. Oh, so it's made this function asynchronously. Or it's made this function async. Oh, so it's just made everything async. Interesting. Okay, yeah, let's... Oh, I see. So it's probably like JavaScript where you can only use await inside an async context. So yeah, let's do everything up until there. Let's make main be the first thing that's not asynchronous. So this will be async io dot run orchestrator, right? So this should, well, this is not going to be asynchronous, right? Because we're just sitting here awaiting. But we'll, async io dot sleep 3 seconds. We'll say just normal print pairing turn number. Why? Oh, because it's... I hate Python sometimes. Just turn number. Actually, no, they added this thing in Python where it should... So I didn't do an f string, but when I say done with turn, and then when I type... yeah, see, it'll add the f string for you if you try and do an f string that's not an f string. Why are you upset? Oh, I see, because I didn't do a wait. Thank you, IntelliJ. That would have confuzzled me. Okay, so I don't want to await this, actually. So what is this return? Right, let's say this returns true. So, result equals, what is the type of result here? Okay, result is a coroutine. So what can I do with that? Well, I guess my question is it going to actually just like start immediately? So it's going to print the current turn. Then we're going to time.sleep for 5 seconds here. And then can I say await result? Or can I say like print await result? Okay, so what is this actually going to do? That's what I don't fully understand. Yeah, see, it doesn't actually start the coroutine straight away, but there must be... Well, okay, let's learn. Let's read the documentation. Yeah, simply calling a coroutine will not schedule it to be executed. To actually run a coroutine, you can do asyncio.run. Or you can await. Or you can do create task. Or you can do task group class provides a more modern alternative. Okay, this is using a with block here. Let's see. So let's try and understand this. We're doing... Oh, that's in... I'm not actually on Python 3.11. So let's pretend that doesn't exist. I think this is what I want. I want to create a task. So that'll be async io.create task. Now again, we're going to run into problems with the GIL here, so probably one of those other things that it was showing here, like when I did create, create sub process, create. Well, probably not that. We'll see. For now, we're just gonna do it like this. So this, I think, will do what I want, right? It'll say, it'll do the Mongo stuff, then it'll Oh, okay. So I need to make them both async tasks. Wait, hold on. I'm a little confused, right? Because I want this process, whatever you want to call it. I want this thread. I don't want to run two things. I want to start a task, let it just go off and do its own thing, while I continue doing my thing. Or do I have to make it a separate method? Let's see. Yeah, a future. I feel like futures are kind of what I want. A future is a special low-level, awaitable object that represents an eventual return of an asynchronous operation. When a future object is awaited, it means that the coroutine will wait until the future is resolved. Normally, there is no need to create future objects at the application level code. Okay, if you say so. Well, so I wonder if here I was, instead of doing time.sleep, if I was doing await async io.sleep. I wonder if that makes a difference. Let's see. Ah, see, that makes a difference. Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong. My understanding is that async IO at the base level in Python is kind of like the JavaScript event loop, where you can create coroutines, you can create other threads that go off and do things, but they're not actually going to do anything unless you know, yeah, like get out of the event loop. However you phrase it, I don't know. I'm bad at reasoning about this sort of thing. Okay, here. I'm just like randomly scrolling through the documentation. So here's what I want: asynchronously run a function in a separate thread. That's what I want, right? Because async IO and the JavaScript event loop, all that good stuff is built around asynchronous IO, where it's like you're calling off to some web server, or you're awaiting user input or something like that. But that's not actually what we're doing here. Well, it's kind of what we're doing. But also, at some point, we are going to be running an emulator, right, in Python. We're not calling out some separate emulator process. We're actually running a Python-based emulator in our main event loop. And that we want to happen, like, genuinely concurrently. If that's not happening concurrently, like, the whole point of this is to have the emulator running in real time so people can, like, watch it, right? So we need to actually run things in separate threads. But then, yeah, we're going to run into issues with the GIL. I at least know that much about Python. So let me read this. So if you call async io.toThread and you pass in some function, it returns a coroutine that can be awaited to get the eventual result of function. So this is where you can do things like time.sleep instead of async io.sleep. But then, yeah, so that's what I was doing before, is I was just directly calling time.sleep. And that wasn't working because that was blocking the event loop, as they describe here. But if we call toThread, that'll actually run something in a separate thread. So let's try that. Let's see if we understand that. So instead of doing create task, I want to do toThread, prepare next turn. But then how do I pass arguments to it? Oh, I just pass it. I can just pass it directly here. So turn number equals current turn. And so now this should do the exact same thing, except I don't need to do await async io.sleep. I can just do time.sleep 5 seconds. So this will be like, 3 seconds, let's say. And then let's see. So this will... Oh, no, it didn't do it. Huh. Coroutine prepare next turn was never awaited. Oh, I see. So this needs to be not an async function now. This is just a normal function now. Am I streaming on Twitch? No. I have a Twitch account, but I don't have any followers, so I don't see much point streaming there. Huh, this still... Oh, whoops, that's passing... What did I have before? I passed the wrong thing in here, but that's not what's gone wrong here. toThread asynchronously run function So I want... Okay, anyway, let's keep reading, because I clearly don't fully understand this. Due to the GIL, async io.toThread can typically only be used to make IO functions, blah, blah, blah. Oh, for extension modules that release the GIL, or alternative Python implementations that don't have one, async io.toThread can be used for CPU-bound functions. Well, that's not quite what I want. But let's see. I can probably go back to what I had before. Make this an async task. And this is what we had that was approximately what we wanted. And let me make sure that this is working how I want, right? All the order of operations. So this is going to be calling prepare thread. Then this is just going to sit here and sleep. And now it's going to say waiting for prepare thread. And then it'll print true, is what we want. So let me make sure that this is all, as I've written it, works how I think it should work. Calling prepare thread, preparing turn whatever, done with turn whatever. Right, so that finished before this one. But now if we swap these, if we say this is the one that takes 5 seconds, and this one actually only took 2 seconds. So now we should see the opposite result, where it calls preparing, and then it's waiting, but the other one's not done. Okay, so this works exactly how I want. But the only problem we're going to run into is with the GIL when we actually call PyBoy. See, the problem is they're both going to lock the GIL. Like, what I was thinking is I could make this, like, just have this method call, like, subprocess.whatever to actually spin up a different Python process and not have to worry about the GIL. But the problem is if async IO is doing everything in a Python event loop, then that's still, this thread now is going to be blocking this thread, I think. Again, I'm not an expert on async stuff in Python. So, well, let's try it anyway. So let's grab the latest turn, and let's just, well, so first we'll spin up a PyBoy instance, right? So we'll do Mongo WebSocket replay this guy. So this guy will have a PyBoy. This'll, yeah, PyBoy. I don't really care about sound. Then, yeah, we'll just call PyBoy.tick at the start, whatever. And what we want to do is we want to grab the latest turn. So we'll say print current turn is current turn. Oops, those need to be single quotes. Oh, thanks, IntelliJ. Why is my delete key not working? Is there like it's just like a bunch of white space there. Cool, love it. Save. Let black figure it out. Okay, so now we want to do PyBoy dot load state, and then theoretically, okay, here, let me see. With open turns. Okay, with open current turn save state read binary as f PyBoy.load state f. Okay, so we're gonna load the save state in PyBoy, and we'll, whatever, we'll figure things out. For now, we'll just call PyBoy.tick here, So we've loaded the most recent save state. Let's actually turn sound on. That'll be fun. That'll be annoying. Okay, I really need to go to the bathroom. I will be right back. Okay, we're back. Where were we? I've not really accomplished much. Let's think about this order of operations here. So we've loaded the latest save state, and now we're asking this thread to go off and do its own thing. So now, our job in this thread, instead of awaiting async io.sleep2, whatever, it's going to be it's going to be this stuff. I mean, we'll make this a method, right? Playback turn or playback button sequence, right? And that'll take a PyBoy, should say PyBoy, and a button sequence, which is a list of strings. Import typing dot list. And then this will be, and then at some point we're gonna have to do all the like WebSocket server stuff as well. That'll be its own separate endeavor. Yeah, so this will be for button in button sequence. Look at what the AI assistant is suggesting. Pyboy.tick. Like, that's not a useful suggestion. Again, if you're just joining now, the only reason I'm using the JetBrains AI assistant is because they're doing this like user research study. And they're offering me a $100 Amazon gift card to use their AI assistant and submit my feedback. But like, it has not once given me like even a remotely useful suggestion. I'm very tempted to just re-enable GitHub Copilot, because at least GitHub Copilot is sometimes useful, whereas this thing is basically never useful. But whatever, I'll try it a bit longer. Okay, so what I want to do is match, or what even is it? Do I even want to do it? Match button dot upper case See, I want it to be like loosey-goosey like this, right? Where you can do like starts with whatever in case, I mean, ChatGPT is usually pretty good about it. Python match case. Can you do like fancy string pattern matching? Match case string pattern. Is that a thing that you can do? Yeah, Python match case, part of a string. Okay, this seems probably not worth it. I'll just use some if else's. Okay. If button, oops, don't make friends. Button, I mean, basically this code, except I need to make it not awful. Oh my goodness. Why did that indent like that? What the heck? Yeah, wait, what? Why did this indent like this? I want this code. Yeah, why is it indenting so weirdly? That's just breaking everything. Okay, this seemed to work. Okay. But now I can delete this nonsense. All this nonsense. Okay, so now we'll have a method called def press button, slightly more sensible than what I had. Then I'll have the PyBoy instance, and it'll have the button, which is a string. Or no, actually what it'll have is whatever these are. Window events. Button down is a window event, and button up is a window event. Also, that will do PyBoy dot whatever it was, send input. Yeah, PyBoy dot send input button down. Then, so this is what I was fiddling with in the old one, is like how long do you hold the button for in order to actually be able to do things. What I ultimately had it do was 8 frames, but that still wasn't enough, because sometimes it'll like turn in place, which, like, you know, maybe that's something you wanted to be able to do, is to turn in place, but ChatGPT is not really smart enough to do that in a sensible, meaningful way. So, whoops, not capital P PyBoy, lowercase p PyBoy. For in range 10, let's say, what? What? The AI, oh my goodness. Again, this is the JetBrains AI assistant you're seeing here, suggesting for underscore in range 10. Hold on, bring the suggestion back. Await async io.sleep a 1/10 of a second. Why is that? Why would you suggest that? PyBoy.tick. Obviously. Like, I know there's not much code here for you to go off of. But God, like, that's the thing about GitHub Copilot, right? Is like GitHub Copilot's not always perfect, but you spend enough time with it and you come to understand, you like sort of get a feeling, you get the vibe for like when it's going to give you a good suggestion. And so you can sort of get into a good flow with it. Like, it can actually be a pair programming partner in a reasonable way. Like, it can save you from having to type tedious things, right? That's what it's for. This JetBrains AI assistant so far has not done anything remotely useful. Okay, let's see if it can. GitHub Copilot, I would expect, would be able to figure out what to do here. I'm going to press the autocomplete shortcut and see if the JetBrains assistant can figure it out. Hey, it did. Well done. I mean, it didn't like do it automatically. I had to invoke the shortcut to even get it to suggest anything. But you know what? We take those. Okay. So what we want to do, all these if bodies are just going to be why what was it suggesting? It was suggesting send input, press A, tick, release A. Like, I literally just wrote the method that does that. Press button, PyBoy. Can you suggest, like, in the middle of a line, like Copilot will? Yeah, see, it's not even able to suggest. What if I have a partial line without the paren? Yeah, it's not able to suggest in the middle of a line, like Copilot will. Window event dot press button A, and window event dot release button A. Okay, there's maybe a slightly better way to write that, but whatever. So now I need to fill in all of these, tedious, obvious things, which Again, this is the sort of thing I would trust GitHub Copilot to be able to do. Let's see if the JetBrains assistant can. It's a lot slower than GitHub Copilot. But you know what? It is actually doing it. Oh, what the hell is this? You were on a roll there. You were following the easy, obvious pattern, the thing that coding assistants should be good at. And then just, you get to this last case, and it's just like, oh, you want to call the TTS engine, right? That's what we're trying to do here, right? And it just copy pasted this code from like somewhere else in this file. I think it's this commented out code up here. Yeah, it just copy pasted this commented out code up here. And it was like, yeah, that's what you want for this last else if, right? Like, here, try again. No, it just keeps suggesting the same thing. Like, it's not even trying. Like, honestly, I think I've seen enough of the JetBrains assistant. I'm very tempted to just switch back to GitHub Copilot now. Release button start. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Black. That's a reasonable way to format that. Then we say else, invalid button input. And then for turn, index, and range. Why did I write that like that? Yeah, you can tell this is quick and dirty code because that line of code there makes no sense. Anyway, then after this, inside the for loop, we want to say for whatever. Actually, wait, result. What? That's total nonsense. A result's not even defined here. This isn't even an async function. Why would you suggest this? This is complete nonsense. What I actually want to do is wait so what I was doing before is just straight up always waiting 1,000 frames. Ideally, I'd want to make this dynamic, where it actually like understands what's happening in the game, and therefore how long it has to wait for each turn. That would be, I think, a lot better for like a live thing people are meant to be watching. For now, we'll make it a 500. Okay, can you figure out what to do? Oh, await result! Hold on, let me give it a comment. Wait 250. Or no, advance. Let's make it even clearer. Advance game, 250 frames. Okay, JetBrains assistant. What is this? Await async io.sleep 0. It's 250 times. Why? Can I make it suggest something better? Is there a suggest something better button? That's not... That doesn't make any sense. I mean, whatever. It might be like looking at this placeholder code and being like, oh yeah, we're just putting placeholders everywhere. I mean, that's the problem with these AI assistants, right? Is garbage in, garbage out. And like, they aren't even necessarily going to write syntactically valid code, right? If you give it, a bunch of code that's like not syntactically valid, the AI is going to be like, we're writing garbage today. Let me write some more garbage. And it'll just output a bunch of garbage. And so that's probably what's happening here, right? Like, it's looking at these placeholder methods and being like, oh yes, all these methods do is just sit here and sleep for 5 seconds. So clearly, when you write this loop in this method that's doing all this nonsense, what we want to do is sit here and sleep for 5 seconds. It's like, yeah. Again, I'm not like comparing them side by side or anything, but I feel like GitHub Copilot would not do that. GitHub Copilot would understand what to put there. Anyway, let me get rid of that useless comment. yeah, so this method I think is done. So what we want to do now, so we're calling the prepare thread, we call this thing, and then we execute the current thread. So we want to playback button sequence with our PyBoy and with current turn buttons. I wish I had a type for this. It returns an optional document type. Interesting. Whatever. Bubbity boo. Yeah, and then we're gonna await this guy. Well, see, the problem is what this guy's doing is calling await async io.sleep5, which I feel like is not really gonna. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this works at all, right? Oh, it doesn't have the ROM. Let's plop that in there. Don't add that to get. In fact, add it to the get ignore. Boop. Boop. Close all this. Okay. So this should, hopefully this won't be too loud. Whoop. It immediately. Oh, yeah, okay, right, because it's everything's in the wrong folder now. Because I went into a subfolder here. Oops, this is not even the right. This is not the. This is the right one. With open. Oh God, how do you do this? I mean, whatever. I could just do like string concatenation, but like there's a proper way to do this, like path manipulation stuff. Whatever. This is just quick and dirty. // plus that. That should work. Okay. I should have it print as it's doing things. Otherwise I can't tell what's happening. Let's see, where's my press button thing? What? Why is that what it is? Yes. I want to print. Can you? And like that's the other thing, is it won't autocomplete in the middle of a thing. Okay, pressing button down. I'll just ellipsis it for good measure. Okay, so now we should be able to see it printing things. Pressing button 1. Yeah, because they're enums. We don't actually have the name of the button. Pressing button 4. Pressing button 4. Pressing button 2. Pressing button 2. Oh yeah, I mean, it's pressing all the buttons. This is from like the last turn of the first execution. See, the problem is it never actually... It never actually started this task. And I don't know if that's because of... What do you call it? Like, because I'm not, like, relinquishing the event loop, control of the event loop, or if it's because, you know, just this entire method is just constantly using... It's never relinquishing the GIL. I mean, that's what I was worried about, right? Is even if this method, even if this method is able to be like, you know, GIL safe or whatever, or right, like run on a separate process, it's still not like this method. So, I feel like trying to fuck with async IO is not going to be a fruitful endeavor. So let's make this method not async. Let's have it let's say, Jesus, for now, sleep 5 seconds. Time.sleep 5 seconds. Let's make it very explicit that this is placeholder code. And now, and we'll print playing back button sequence. Okay, let's give this AI assistant here a chance. So we'll give it this code. We'll say AI actions. Where is it? Suggest refactoring. Okay, but no, I want to be able to no. This is not what I wanted. But I can edit this. That's the nice thing. You know, they did this in a very JetBrains kind of way, where it's like all very modular, I guess. Refactor the following code to run the prepare next turn function on a separate Python process so it can do CPU heavy things without caring about the GIL. Let's be very explicit about what we want here. Now it's the spell check is not working there. Now I'm thinking this uses what's it called? GPT-3. Because probably JetBrains is not paying for everyone to make a bunch of calls to GPT-4 like Microsoft is willing to do. So that already is going to make even the chat function here less good than Copilot Chat. But, you know, unlike Copilot Chat, this thing is available in IntelliJ. So, you know, that's an advantage. So let's see what it's done here. You can use Python's multiprocessing library to create another process to execute the prepare next turn function. Note that in order to use this function in a separate process, it must be pickleable. Pickleable. I love that word. Pickleable. I'm honestly kind of surprised that GPT used a word like pickleable. Pickleable. Do you say pickleable or pickleable? I don't know which one's more fun to say. They're both kind of fun. Like the way it's spelled kind of looks like pickleable, but I guess you could argue it's pronounced pickleable. It's kind of more fun to say pickleable. 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 Anyway, let's see what it's done here. So we've got it's got a queue. It's interesting. Okay, so it's doing the Mongo stuff. Pyboy.tick. Grab the highest turn. The current turn is whatever, with open, whatever. All that code's unchanged. Then it's creating a queue. I don't know if that's necessary. It's creating a new process, prepare next turn, calling proc.start. Then it does all this stuff. Then it does result equals queue.get, and it calls proc.join, and it prints result. Honestly, this kind of feels like exactly what I wanted. Let's see if I can now just yeah, can I just apply this diff now and have it all magically work? Because that would be spiffy. Oh, this has become very giant. Okay. And honestly, I think at this point, unless I do something else asynchronous, I don't need async IO at all. So let's just get rid of it so it's not tempted to try and use it everywhere. Okay, so I don't know if this is overkill, right? Like making a queue like this. But it makes sense to me because it's kind of doing that async task thing, right? Of like starting this separate thread, letting it do its thing. And then like by the time we get here, it's like, is it either is it done or is it not done? So let's see. So queues, queue type using pipe buffer thread, and then proc.join. I feel like these should be in the opposite order almost, you know? I mean, presumably this works. but I feel like you want to... Wait, I also don't like it called this Q. It called the Q, the letter Q. We'll call it result Q. I prefer that. And so it's generating a new process with a target. It's passing in, well, it's added this new argument with the Q, which it's also called Q here. Wait, what? Renaming Q is not finished yet. Oh, I never hit enter here. I see. We'll call this, oh yeah, see, oh, these are AI suggestions actually. I didn't even notice that. That I like. That always, because like IntelliJ will do that thing where it'll suggest variable names and stuff for you, but usually they're not very good. I mean, if you're doing the Java thing, right, where you have like Q equals new Q, or like message Q equals new message Q, you're just like saying the same thing over and over again. Like it can figure out what those variable names are meant to be. But this, I mean, these suggestions aren't very good. Like it should have, I wonder what all, if it's, I bet it's only sending you the context. I could like check the logs to see. I bet it's only sending the context of this method. And it's not sending the context of the entire file. Because otherwise it would have realized, hey, I'm calling it result Q down here. I want to call it result Q up here as well. And here, let's actually watch these. Here, I want to let the AI do it, right? Have this print every second. Would you like to modify this behavior so the function sleeps for only 1 second? No, that's not what I wanted. That's not correct. Okay. Whatever. For I in range 5. I'm gonna sleep 1. Print sleepy time. I. Oh, it didn't. IntelliJ didn't f-string that for me. Weird. Okay. Let's see if this works at all. Or if it like immediately does. Okay, so it's pressing button, sleepy time 0, sleepy time 1, sleepy time 2, sleepy time pressing button whatever, sleepy time 4, pressing done with turn, pressing button whatever. But the actual buttons it's pressing are not like useful here. They're not advanced. None of them are the A button, which is what it needs to get through this dialogue. Okay, so let's see if it's able to join the process. Okay, then it's waiting for prepare task to finish, and then it gets that true off the queue. Okay, that seemed to do exactly what I wanted. Here, let me just make this a lot shorter. And make this a lot longer. And so that'll... emulate so that'll emulate this finishing first. Okay, so this finished first. Pieboy's not responding now. But it's still sleeping for 15 seconds, and then it finishes. Excellent. So that's just about doing what I want. But now what I want to see is we have this result queue. Why is there no documentation here? But what I want to see is if results queue dot empty, does that return something? Yes. If the results queue is empty, then we'll say, wait, what? What did the AI suggest? What is this? JetBrains AI assistant. What is this? That doesn't even make sense. aside from not being valid Python. Oh god, Lord. I will be switching back to GitHub Copilot shortly. I think I've seen enough of the JetBrains AI assistant. They want you to like submit a 3-minute video or whatever of you using it. I think I can probably extract some clips from this stream and be like, this thing gives me nonsense most of the time. Okay. Actually, I'm just gonna do it now because this is the sort of thing that Copilot is like really good at. It's just like when you want to print some log statement, but you don't want to like actually like you don't really care what it says, but you want it to be descriptive and like have information and stuff. Okay, disable AI assistant, enable GitHub Copilot, apply. Okay, restart. Hello OBS. Woo, woo. Oh, you can. Oh, there it goes. IntelliJ. Lovely. In fact, now if I'm using Copilot, I don't even need to be using IntelliJ. I could be using PyCharm, but whatever. I've got everything set up in IntelliJ now, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. Copilot is enabled. What does Copilot suggest here? Result queue.get. Okay. Well, no. Actually, what I want to do is print something. Copilot, what do you suggest? Queue is empty. Excellent. Waiting. Okay, so that's what I want to see because I want it to be able to like show something on the screen. If this so this is the process that's like what will actually be shown on the live stream, and so it's like if this finishes before this finishes, I want it to be able to say, "Hey, we're waiting on ChatGPT. It's being a slow piece of garbage." I guess I can put those back the way they were. So this, I think, should just be... Oh, you can do block. Block equals true. What if it's not? What if you say it's not blocking? Or, oh, you can also do a timeout. But what if it's not blocking? Oh, it throws an exception. I see. I don't know why there's no like docstring for these methods. That's weird to me. Okay, so let's see if this works the way we want. Because the way I've set it up, this thread should finish first. It presses a bunch of buttons while the other one's still sleeping. Ah, and then it says queue is empty, waiting. Meanwhile, the other thread you can see is counting up. It's waiting for 15 seconds in total. And then it says done with turn whatever, and then it's... Yeah, excellent. Excellent. That's exactly... An IDE error has occurred. Love it. Exception in plugin GitHub Copilot. Great. Report it. Okay, cool. So I think we've got roughly the skeleton of what we want here. I'm gonna... Oh man, this has been going on for a lot longer than I thought. I code a lot slower when I'm talking out loud, turns out. Okay, but I figured out the multi-processing stuff, and that was the stuff that I wasn't really sure how to do. So everything from here on out, I think, should be pretty smooth sailing. It's just going to be a lot of tedious junk. So I'm going to be right back again, and then we'll move on to some fun stuff. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Okay. Whoa, I clipped the microphone. I'm sorry. Your delicate ears. Okay, let's move on to some fun stuff now. Let's start actually making turns happen. So that's going to be this method, prepare next turn. And this is going to... Okay, so what this needs as input is basically... Yeah, I think what I'll actually do, because I don't necessarily want this method to have to connect to Mongo. Oh wait, yes I do. Do I? Do I? I kind of want something better than a queue. Maybe this guy doesn't write to Mongo directly at all. Maybe this guy takes as input a turn list, which will be a list of any's. It's not any, typing.any. Import typing.any, yes. I should probably make a type for that, but it's probably not worth it. And then why did I say it? Oh, because it doesn't return anything. Okay, yeah, this queue. Can this queue have a type? Probably not. Okay, let's see. So most recent... Anyway, what it's going to put onto the queue is the description for the next turn. Right. So most recent turn equals turn list -1. Right, this is mostly just going to be this code. Or, oh yeah, if I do it descending like this, yeah. So it's basically going to be exactly this code. So most recent turn equals turn list 0. Current memory equals whatever. Preparing turn, most recent turn +1. And the prompt is, yeah, it's going to be this junk, all this junk, basically. Or turn list is what we're calling it. I guess I might as well just call it turns. So just complaining about duplicated code, 61 lines. Yeah, you don't say. And I'm gonna do some like prompt engineering stuff later, but for now we're just calling mock thingies anyway. Then we say GPT response equals loose parse JSON get GPT response prompt. We got new thoughts, new memories, and new buttons. And we also have the current screenshot index. And then we can prepare the next turn. Oh, I feel like I might have an off by 1 error here. That was what was screwing me up with this, is like off by 1 errors with the like save states and stuff. I'll figure that out later. So now we spin up a PyBoy instance and we set the emulation speed to instant. If there's a save state, in most recent turn, which there should be, but you know, then playback button sequence, this new Pi boy, and then we want new buttons. Yeah, and so this will be happening headlessly because we're in this other thread. And that's all this code. But we need it to save screenshots. True. False. Let me say if save screenshots. What are you going to suggest, Copilot? Don't let me down. There we go. That's close to what we want. So I'll actually say screenshot index equals none. If screenshot index is Copilot, can you do things for me? Excellent. Love it. Is not none. Then we want to save the screen image. And we want to write to screenshot index. Yeah, screenshot index. We want to save and then say screenshot index plus equals 1. And then Yeah, see, we don't, strictly speaking, like need this. That's gonna make the code later a little bit more annoying. I could break this out into a method though. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Screenshot index equals current screenshot index. And then next turn screenshots equals this. Actually, here, Copilot, can you suggest it for me? Yes. This feels correct, I think. It's better than I would have written it, so thanks, Copilot. Black will format it for me. Excellent. I love it when the computer can just write code for you whenever I don't have to type something. That's excellent. Okay, so this is where are we? Okay, so we've done the screenshot stuff. We've pressed the button presses. Now we make a save state. Actually, will IntelliJ do this for me without the AI? Can I refactor this into using a width block width? I don't know if this is strictly speaking necessary, but it makes me feel comfy to do it that way. And then and then we write that to there. Okay. I see. So what I was doing before is I would like commit the turn, so to speak, and then get the commentary. And then post it to Discord, which again was the output here. But actually what we want to do here is we only want to consider the turn successful. Get rid of all that junk. If we also get the commentary, because if we don't have the commentary, like what are we even doing, you know? So let's say commentary file equals get commentary. So this just creates an MP3. And that's probably fine. We don't actually need a reference to this, strictly speaking. But we do want this to succeed. Like if this fails, we want to retry. And I mean, I'll need to add all that logic and stuff later. But it's only once all of this has succeeded. So it's calling ChatGPT. It's getting its response. It's running the next turn. So it's running the emulator, pressing all those button presses, taking screenshots. Then at the end, it's making a save state. And it's getting a commentary. And this actually, these two things, well, see, I don't know how long this is going to take because it's running in headless mode, right? So this is probably pretty instant. But we could, in theory, run this and this in parallel. Like this, we could add more layers of asynchronicity to this. But for now, let's not. And then on our result queue, we will plop next turn. So we've prepared this next turn object. It is decidedly pickleable, as the AI tells us it needs to be. Let me zoom in a bit. It's probably a little hard to read on a normal size screen. And now it will be this guy's job, the orchestrator thread's job, to write to Mongo. Now the only worry is if that's like a blocking operation and it's gonna like hitch, if you're gonna see PyBoy hitch for a second, which is why maybe I would prefer it write to Mongo on the other thread. But oh well. So here we want Mongo client db name dot turns dot insert one result. And I'll actually make this even more specific. We'll call this next turn result. So we'll do all that junk. We'll print next turn result, and then we won't break. We'll just keep going, right? So this is the end of one turn. It will start the next turn. And it doesn't, strictly speaking, need to use Mongo, right? So what we can actually do is say current turn equals none. All right, and then let's see, I was going to say if Copilot can figure out what we want to do here. There. Black, can you figure that out? Yep. Yeah, so if current turn is none, then we grab the latest turn from Mongo. And so this way, even if the Python shuts down or something, everything's saved in Mongo. When we start up again, we'll just grab the latest from Mongo. But actually what we wanted to do was to not grab the current turn, but the latest turns. I should have just latest turns. And actually, we want to do what we were doing before, which is .turns.find.sort turn limit 5. Oh, I just wrote a bunch of garbage. So Mongo client .turns.find.sort turn descending limit 5. Grab the 5 latest turns, and then we'll say current turn is latest turns 0. Right? And so this is actually latest turn, this is latest turn, or current turn, whatever we're calling it. And then this guy, we changed his thing. So he now takes a turn list. So you just straight up pass latest turns into him. And so he gets the list of the 5 latest turns, which is what we want him to have. Then this guy is operating on the current turn. And now we get the next turn result. And so what we want to say is latest turns dot. Latest turns is a list. It's an optional list. I just want autocomplete, please. There we go. Dot pop. Or push and pop what I want. How do I get a Python? This isn't PyCharm. It doesn't have the Python console. No, Python REPL is a thing. Actions. Python terminal. Is that a thing I can do? Wait. What was it saying? Python or debug console? Okay, yeah, cool. Python console. That's what I want. So if A equals 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's put it over there. Interesting. And I say A dot pop. What does that do? That pops it off the end. And if I say A dot push tacos. Oh, it doesn't have a method called push. It has pop but not push. So you can append, but I want to insert taco at position 0. I meant insert at 0 tacos. Yes, okay, that's what I want. Latest turns dot pop. Latest turns dot insert 0. Next turn result. Okay, so it's saving everything to Mongo, but it's not actually using Mongo beyond when it first spins up. So hopefully that's not going to bite me in the ass. I don't see how it could. I don't see how any of this could fail. Okay, so let's say for in range, let's do 10 turns, right? Okay. And we'll say buttons. Dummy JSON with randomly sampled buttons. Let's see. I'll import random. Let's see if GitHub Copilot can do what I want. Random.choices. Okay. Keep going. Keep going. This feels correct. But actually, I want this k value be equal random dot gamma variate. Come on. 1, 1. I don't know if those numbers make sense. Math dot seal. Do I have to import math? Import math seal. Okay, I don't know if these numbers actually make sense. Give me my Python. Import random. Those numbers are way too small. Okay, whatever. This doesn't matter. Let's just have this be 5. 5 random buttons. Okay. Let's let her rip. See what it looks like. It immediately crashed. Oh, I see. Because this needs to be a list. I am calling latest turns equals... Oh, what are these parens here? I mean, whatever. It needs to be a list. Right? It's returning a Mongo cursor object or whatever, but it needs to be just a straight up Python list, I believe. And didn't I turn sound on? Why am I not? Why is there no sound? Or maybe, oh yeah, there was sound. It just hadn't played long enough. Oh, the problem is that those directories don't exist here. So let's make a new directory. Screenshots. I could have the code do this, but screenshots, save states. And ideally these should be... This shouldn't... These file names should be better. Because in theory I would want to be able to have like multiple instances of this running in parallel. Oh, you know what? I did read instead of write, I think, when I'm saving the screenshot. Where is that happening? Oh, it's happening in a different thread, so am I not getting the stack trace? YouTube is yelling at me. I don't know if it was doing that before. It's saying like, this stream can't be 4K, but I don't think that's true. I hope this is streaming in 4K successfully. Whatever. Doesn't actually matter that much. Okay, what was I doing? What was I trying to fix? Oh, it's because it's reading the last turn. It wants... Yeah, because I set it up suchly that it would... Whoa. Why are there so many of these? Yeah, wait, why does it have so many screenshots in there? Like, why does it have thousands of... Like, 1,000 screenshots? Oh, right, because each screenshot is a... Yeah, that's right. Each screenshot is a button press, not a turn. Right, like, it played for like 300 turns, but it had however many button presses. I guess 1,000... Yeah, 1,000 button presses. Okay, so it wants those screenshots there. Don't add them to Git. In fact, add these. I need to do this better. Git, add to Git ignore, please. And I would like that most recent save state. Grab the few most recent save states. Just for funsies, slap those in there. And then we don't need the commentary file. Okay, I'm going to be deleting all that once I actually, like, run the thing anyway. It's just giving it some dummy data to work with. Oh, where'd PyBoy go? Okay, now this is where I think I did the wrong thing. Where it's... Oh, wait, no. It should have written a save state. Unless it, like, crashed or something. What happened here? Did it ever... Oh yeah, so it got to preparing turn 269. And that guy pressed some buttons. Wait. Yeah, this is where you get into like debugging multi-threaded stuff. It's like, oh boy, your console logs aren't super reliable. So what are we doing here? We're creating this prompt, which is this big old honkin' thing. And we're getting the GPT response. What is this? When are we printing this giant blob of nonsense? Where are we using prompts? Oh, I bet. Ah, yeah, see, this is printing it. I don't want to actually print it. Yeah, so this is returning some dummy garbage. And we'll say this is printing got GPT response. GPT response, just like thusly. Okay. And it's doing all this stuff. It loads the save state. And it has this save state path. Oh yeah, see, then here it's doing open save state path, right binary, save state, and that was for turn 269. And you can see it did actually make this file. Like if I look in File Explorer, yeah, you can see this file has an actually recent modified date, whereas everything else is from like weeks ago. So then where is it getting upset? Ah, I see, because I still have this placeholder code here where it's going up a folder. That's right. Okay, let's see how this works. You can see the other PyBoy instance has already like done its thing. And now it's doing the next turn. See, we have this off by one error. I think. Yeah, see, it's... Yeah, this is the off by one error I was talking about, where we're loading the save state from the most recent turn, but that save state is what happens after, or is meant to be what happens after the button presses. Right, and actually we don't want this pyboy.tick here, because that's going to make it not deterministic. So I think right now it should actually be deterministic, because it's always calling the same method, playback button sequence, which is the only, this should now be the only thing that's actually calling pyboy.tick at any point. And so long as both threads are calling this method, and this is the only thing that's calling pyboy.tick, they should be able to stay in lockstep. So we don't, strictly speaking, need to load these save states every turn, but it's a good validation that we're doing the correct thing. And if we can do it without it stuttering too much, that's the main thing I'm worried about, is if the the audio like hitches and it's really annoying, then we might want to not do that. But if we can get away with it, we might as well. So here, let me look at this guy. So here we're taking turn index. And yeah, so you can see what we actually want to do is we want to load the save state for the previous turn. So the most recent turn is latest turn 0. If len latest turns is greater than 1, whoopsie, greater than 1, whoopsie, with open, latest turns 1. So this is the previous turn. Effectively, this is the save state that is the outcome of the button presses from the previous turn. So when we reach this point, this is where we should already be. If everything's gone according to plan, this pyboy.load state should be effectively loading the save state that we're already in. And so we should see that when we run it, is that it's kind of just doing nothing, hopefully. No? Yeah, I mean, it kind of did it, and I didn't even, like, notice. It's just going so smoothly. Let me just watch this and, like, make sure it's doing things that make sense. I'm gonna close Discord before someone posts their phone number in a notification. Without realizing they're on stream. Yeah, so there shouldn't be any like discontinuities or anything happening here. It's like, it's just pressing a bunch of buttons and stuff. And yeah, I guess you can hear like the audio hitching for a little second. And cool, yes, I told it to run for 10 turns. And it did. That seemed to work very well, I think. Excellent. Now, obviously, that was all just placeholder stuff, right? It's just pressing random buttons. But it is playing the game in real time while also in a separate thread calling out these fake ChatGPT thingies. So, I think what we can do is just to see if it works. Unless we can actually like see the output is the thing. We're not gonna get let me read into multiprocessing, because I need to make the front end now, right? Like what I want to do is have it actually call ChatGPT now, but unless we can actually like see what's happening, that doesn't feel super fruitful. But if we had the front end up and running, well, here, so actually what we can do is, let's just, let's just do this for now. We'll do it the kind of like bad way. So we'll create this, wait, not here, orchestrator. So we have our Mongo client, but we also have our simple WebSocket server, which we'll call server.serveOnce. Oh, I thought you Yeah. I mean, ideally I would use something more sophisticated like Socket.io. I know there is a version of Socket.io for Python, but Okay. All right, this needs a reference to web socket clients equals this thingy, and then yes, we need a. Wait, what did it import? Hold on. It imported. Oh, it imported it from this other file. That's not what I want. I want this to be two completely independent things. Okay. So you. There we go. WebSocket clients.append. WebSocket clients. I mean, I just stole this code ages ago from some random thing on Google, and that was what I used for YouTube Plays Mario Odyssey to do the like display for that. So again, I'm sure there's some better way to do WebSocket server stuff in Python, and I'll probably try and figure that out at some point. Okay, and then we want a def send WebSocket message. And that'll be this thing for client in WebSocket clients. Where is it? Client.send message and then server that serve once. And this server here is actually a WebSocket server. Might as well be more explicit there. Okay, so now we can send WebSocket messages. Yeah. Excellent. We don't particularly care about the button presses. I guess we will at some point. But what we care about is while it's playing back the button, we basically want to do this stuff, right? Send it the turn number and the thoughts and the memory. So we want to call that method that I just wrote, which is called send WebSocket message. And we want to say, oh, actually we can just slap this JSON.dumps. Might as well extract that JSON message. Okay, send WebSocket message. Type turn, payload, whatever, turn, whatever. This guy. Oh, current turn. And then type thoughts, current turn thoughts. I could theoretically send these all in like one JSON. I might do that later if it turns out to be a problem. But, you know, this WebSocket server realistically is only going to have one client. So I'm not worried about it like using too much bandwidth or being slow or anything like that. This is just to connect Python to OBS. That's all that's happening here. Okay, So this has been like saving commentary here. I'm gonna be right back. I will be right. Okie dokie, we are back. Right. So now we've got the WebSocket stuff working. So in theory, we could serve our front end. CD, whatever that's called. npm run. Yeah, it's not going to tab complete that. Why am I not doing this in IntelliJ? npm run start. Okie dokie. And this will. Why is that loading so slowly? There we go. Okay, so there's our front end. Well, that ended up on the other monitor. Okay, let's split screen that. Let's zoom that out. Well, I guess we'll leave it zoomed in for now. Okay, so in theory, when I run the real-time player now, it should start serving things. It's not going to have the it's not going to have the right directory for the commentary. The one problem is it does get a little ahead. So this guy's not. Yeah, see, it like takes a second to connect. But we should see the like turn number counting up. 291, 292. See, it is annoying me a little bit, the audio hitching. 293. It's like we don't strictly need to load that save state. It's changing the text speed. Stop it. 296 though. Okay. Cool. Let me have this. Make it random dot random. Yeah, just have that be something different. Random number. Random dot random. No, that's a dictionary. Yeah, see, the problem is this doesn't connect immediately. Like, it'll try to reconnect, but it doesn't get it straight away. And yeah, see, it ends up missing some updates, which is only really a problem when you like first boot it up, which I guess is not the biggest problem in the world. Okay, but yeah, you can see it is getting the all this junk. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's working. So now if we wired it up with ChatGPT, well, it's not reading out the commentary, but, you know, that's not the most important functionality. I mean, whatever. Let me get that working. So the way that was working is I had a... Oh, I really just need to make this a node script because it was, I didn't write it down. Unless it's here in my notes. Oh no, this is nonsense. Node serve folder. Yeah, quick file server. Yeah, npx http server. -- cores, yes. Now I want a thing called serve static, and that's going to serve this folder. Just copy the absolute path. Up. With cores. I think that's what I want. Yes, it's okay. Wait, what did that do? Why did it open a thing? Oh, it's running on the same port as React. That's the problem. What port did I set it to use? That'll be here in the X 8000. Yeah, this is running on 3000. Wait, this is 8080. Whatever. Whoops. Should be port 8000. Is what that's listening on. I don't know why it keeps like opening this thing. Or, oh, no, that's not the local directory. That's like the output, like what you want it to be on the server. I see. So I just want this to not, I want this at the end. Yes, this is what I want, I think. Let's see. Why is it just... I think it's not... It's serving this folder? No. What is it doing? Why is this not doing something sensible? Like, this should, in theory, be serving files like this. What on earth am I doing here? What is going on here? HTTP server. What does this need to be here? Is that what it wants? Before all the options? That's what it said in the documentation.
The selection has been made.
Yeah.
Now proceed with the next steps in the game setup. The selection
so,
has been...
yeah, that's the way this works. So I just have this other random static file server that is just serving up this commentary folder that's got all the MP3s in it. And so then this front end is just, you know, it just knows where these where to get these MP3s from and just embed them into the thing. So now, in theory, if I run my real-time player again, I mean, it's not going to be like doing the correct commentary. It's just going to be like whatever commentary. And again, it like takes a second to connect. It always misses the first. It's not doing the commentary. What's going on here? Oh wait, port 8001. Oh. Not 8000, 8001. So is this in theory gonna work now? Why is the turn number not incrementing anymore? Let this guy reconnect. Okay, it is getting turns now, but it's not getting localhost. Oh no, 8000. Why was it saying 8001 before? And also, why is it saying connection refused? This file should exist. Well, no, now it doesn't because I changed this port. It should be port 8000. This guy should be running. This
selection
file
has
should
been
exist. Yeah. So now that this guy, when I run the player, it should like, once it connects, it's gonna do its thing.
The selection has been made.
Now
proceed with the next steps in the game
setup. It just
setup.
took it a hot second.
The selection has been made. Now proceed
now again,
with
it's
the
just
next
doing the same
steps in the
commentary
game
every
setup.
single turn.
The selection has been made.
But it is.
Now proceed with the
It
next
is
steps
saying.
in the game setup. The selection has been made. Now proceed with the next steps in the game setup. The selection has been made. Now proceed with the next steps in the game setup. The selection has been made. Now proceed with the next steps in the game setup. The selection has been made. Now proceed with the next steps in the game setup.
This is riveting, isn't it? Okay, cool. So now we've got... Well, now in theory it's working, right? Like, it's not obviously all there. Not all the features that I want, but it should, in theory, work. Now, part of the problem is it's not going to wait long enough. But here, we can, like, do it, right? We can call... Oh, this should be OpenAI client. Is this gonna work? Is it gonna have to, like... I'm just gonna... That might be bad to just create a new instance of the client, because I'm worried about it being on a different thread and stuff. Okay, now I can comment on this placeholder code and say this. Open AI. Audio, speech, whatever. Thoughts. Okay, so now this will be calling the for realsies OpenAI API. Let me only give it 3 turns of context just to... Oh boy, this is already a little convoluted. Oh, whoops, this needs to be indented thusly. Oops, that was a little oopsie there. Okay, let's give it 3 turns worth of context, just so I'm not using a bunch of tokens while I'm testing. And here, forget compass. Compass sucks. Let's connect to... No, none of that. I want to connect to... Oh yeah, like, why isn't this refreshing? Oh, you don't have the drivers, because it's IntelliJ? Right, yeah, just imported this from PyCharm, but it didn't actually have the Mongo stuff set up. Oh, why is it so slow? Okay, Pokemon Test 1, that's what we're actually using. Pokemon Test 1 collections turns. There we go. Let me close this panel. Then we want to sort by turn number. Give me 100. I want all those junk turns that I was adding. Yeah, all the ones that are just no thoughts, only placeholders. I would like to delete those rows in the database. I don't know why that takes so long. Like, it's so fast when, like, Mongo is fast when you're using it from a, script or whatever. For some reason, Compass and IntelliJ, they're both just really slow when they're trying to do things with Mongo. Okay. So the only other thing we need to change now to make this, like, work is... This could be slightly better organized. I can close this prompt thing. Is... This method. Yeah, here it is. So right now we're only waiting 1 second between button presses. Originally, for my ChatGPT Plays Pokemon thing, I was waiting 1,000 frames, which is like 15, it's 12-ish seconds. We want a happy middle ground. For now, let's do 5 seconds, I guess. Oh, also it's not sending the button presses. Well, I wanted to change how that works as well anyway. I want it to, yeah, I mean, the display stuff, there's still things to be done. Okay, and let's do 3 turns. For now, again, trying to just conserve budget. But this should work. It should, like... So it's like playing back the last turn. It's the first thing it's doing. Now, the problem is this guy is not, like, reconnected yet. He's, like, really slow about it. But you saw it, like, got something. Let's see, once it's finished with these button presses, we should get the commentary and stuff over here. It didn't. Why didn't it? I wish it... Oh, he's just pressing directions. Yeah, he's just getting horribly confused. Unfortunately. Why is it not... Yeah, see, it's not getting the, It's like this thing is just not connecting. Okay, so now it's connected. But it didn't load the commentary file. Should be able to load the commentary.
I have repeatedly attempted to navigate out of this position with no success. Now, I'll try pressing A in case I am stuck in dialogue, and then down to step away from the desk. If this confirms movement, I'll proceed left towards the exit.
That's working. Oh wait, it did... Oh, it didn't get this... Oh, this hasn't happened yet? I'm a little confused because the problem is running things in parallel.
It seems pressing A has advanced the dialogue. Now that the character is still, I'll try down to create distance from the desk again. And if I see movement, I will proceed left towards the exit.
Yeah, so the problem is he's just pressing the wrong buttons. He just keeps pressing left. And now I only gave him 3 turns to run. Yeah, it's hard to tell if it's like working correctly is the thing. Unless you can like really see what's happening, and especially since this guy likes to disconnect. Anyway, what I wanted to try to do anyway is to have like all these logs and stuff that are currently printing in the console. I want those, not all of them necessarily, but I want it to show in the UI, like on the stream, what would be the stream, so you can like see something's happening. So when it's just like sitting there waiting for well, in theory that shouldn't happen. Well, like I say in theory, it almost happened the last time. What were we seeing happening? Anyway, what I want to see is if there's some good way for this child process to communicate back with its parent, other than just like using a queue. If there's some more I'm just gonna... Oh yeah, here we go. Exchanging objects. I want something that's like an observable, like an RxJS observable, something that I can like subscribe to, but that I can pass from that child process to the parent. Um, hmm. See, I need this. I need to refactor this method, I think, because I need this to basically not be a loop. Press button. Sorry. Press button string. And this will, instead of being a button sequence, it'll just be a button. And this guy's job is not to increment screenshot index. Okay. For button in new buttons. Button, current screenshot index, and current screenshot index plus equals 1. And then I can do this code. Next turn screenshots dot append. Here we go. Copilot, your time to shine. There we go. Oh, but I need to do that before incrementing current screenshot index. There we go. That's good. And then here, yeah, for button in current turn buttons. Press the button. But now also we can do what we were doing before, where we say, hey, we're pressing the button. Do send WebSocket message. We got an extra paren there. Button equals button. Although this, I want to change this. Instead of just sending the button, send like the all of the buttons for the turn at once. So I think that was a little confusing in the last GPT Plays Pokemon video. It was like which button presses corresponded with which like turn, which commentary thingy, if that makes sense. This is taking long. Maybe I don't code as fast as I thought I did. Maybe it's just because I'm trying to talk to myself the whole time. Okay, but I mean, this should now in theory be like sending the button presses, right? So let's see. see the buttons it's trying to press from the last turn. Again, it like, didn't quite connect fast enough to get... Let's see, once it reaches the end of this turn, like once this thing updates, that'll be the next turn.
I am still in dialogue with Professor Elm, and I need to ensure the dialogue is advanced by pressing A until conversation ends. The repetition of screenshots indicates I have not pressed A enough. Upon completing the dialogue, my next steps should be to move down away from the desk and left to exit the lab.
That last A press didn't seem to register. Why not?
The dialogue with Professor Elm has progressed further, which
Whoa,
means
what?
pressing A was effective. It looks like there might be a bit more dialogue to clear through, so I'll continue pressing A until it's certain the dialogue has ended.
Oh, I
Once
see.
it's clear, I'll navigate
I
down
need to do this
and
before I
left,
press
exit
the button.
building, and proceed towards
Because,
Cherry Grove C.
yeah, it's only showing the button after it presses the button and then waits. I see. Oh, again, I'm going to change how all that button stuff works anyway. Okay, so I want that to come first. Whoopsie. Type button. Payload. Yeah, I kind of want to change the way this works. I wonder if I can do that now. Or I could like do it in a really lazy kind of way. I don't know what I want to figure out next. Well, what I want to figure out is... So you can do these like pipe stuff. I almost wonder if the WebSocket server should be its own separate process. That kind of makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense to me, is that the WebSocket server should be its own process. Okay. Yeah, so we've got this whole method, and now we have a separate one that is WebSocket server daemon or whatever. And this will take as input a message Q. Q-U-E-U-E. You say Q-U-E-U-E. And it just doesn't return anything. And all this code goes here. This code also goes here. Where did my... Oh, none of this is indented properly. Gotta love Python. There we go. Okay. And so now this guy, all he's gonna do is while true, message queue dot get next message equals message queue dot get, and then it'll do send WebSocket message next message. Yeah. This makes sense. And then we'll say we want to do this processing stuff. Yeah, like this junk. Okay, so this proc is actually the next turn process. Then we have the WebSocket message queue, and that's going to call WebSocket server daemon with the WebSocket message queue as its expected type iterable. Oh, this needs to be a something like that. And then this will be the WebSocket process. This makes sense. And so now all these, all those guys will be WebSocket message queue dot put. Thusly, excellent. And then at the very end, probably what we want to do is WebSocket process dot kill. Hopefully that doesn't because it's never going to terminate, so I can't do dot join. I guess I just want to kill it. Or terminate it. I don't know what the difference is. Yeah, hopefully that won't do anything too gross. Okay, so this should all still work the same as it was. Okay, so I'll restart that. Refresh this guy. Make sure he's like connected. I wish he would connect faster. We'll see. I could make it like a stateful thing where when the client connects to the server, it sends the most recent message. Yeah, that would be an utterly reasonable thing to do. Oh, key error turn. Oh, interestingly, that crashed, but it's not. What happened here? Let's kill that. Oh yeah, I guess if it never kills the WebSocket process, it never... I should probably wrap this whole thing in a try finally. Right? Try all this junk. Finally. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, but what went wrong here is it says turn is not defined. Let's see if it let's do it in IntelliJ. Did it like end up with something weird? Sort by like object ID, that should work, right? Oh, what? Payload 276. Type. Oh, I must have Oh, somehow this ended up being WebSocket message queue. How did that happen? Yeah, wait, what? Oh, I probably did like a rename and it screwed something up. This should be next turn, or results queue, I think is what I had it called before. Okay, somehow we were passing the same thing around everywhere. So if this queue is empty, then this is that. Okay, so the WebSocket message queue is only used for WebSocket messages. Okay, good, goody. Oh, do I recommend? I didn't see I don't have the chat like all the way over here. Do I recommend PyCharm over VS Code to code? I mean, yeah, I use it. I mean, VS Code's fine. I'm mostly just used to PyCharm. I feel like there are lots of little things where I mean, I haven't even really used VS Code for much coding, to be honest, because I just use IntelliJ or PyCharm or whatever for anything. I feel like whenever I'm like sitting down, whenever I'm in a situation where I have to use VS Code, I'm just like totally lost. And I feel like there are lots of things that's like, PyCharm would do this for me. Why isn't VS Code doing this for me? But then a lot of those things like you can get with plugins anyway, right? I mean, that's the nice thing about VS Code is all the plugins and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I recommend PyCharm. Especially if, you know, you're either if you're a student and you can get it for free, or if you're, you know, in a position where you can pay for it without that being like a concern or anything. I've not really used the free version of PyCharm at all, so I'm not really sure what all you'd be missing out on without it. Anyway, where were we? We just made a separate process that'll do the WebSocket stuff. And so now what I'm thinking I'll do is I'll have a message history dictionary. And then whenever we get a new message, we'll say message history, next message type. We've got this type parameter in all of our messages. Equals next message. Okay, so we're going to have this dictionary that's got a history of all the messages. And then for message in message history, self dot self dot send message message. This feels correct, right? And then we'll do a well, I'm not sure if that's gonna like do the WebSocket server.serve once thing or not, but I mean it's gonna be doing that kind of continuously. Why is it local variable value is not used? I mean it's used right here and like right here, right? Yeah, why does it think it's not used? Interesting. Okay, but is that, I don't think that's how you like iterate over dictionaries. A equals 1, 2, 3, 4 for thing in A, print thing. Yeah, that's printing the keys. So we want, was there something I could do for thing in A dot values? Yeah. Print thing, excuse me, thing. Oh, I just missed the colon. Ooh, up, up, up. Yes. That's what I want. Message history dot values. Which might be empty, but that's fine. And so hopefully this will solve that issue of when the client connects and it's just, there's nothing there. Hopefully it'll just, when the client connects, send it the most recent everything that it's got. But it's not doing that still. Why not? Is this thing like missing? Next to WebSocket connection failed. Oh, it's just like continuously failing. That's cool. I love that. So presumably this is not like doing what I want. Oh, I'm not. I need to JSON.dump_s message. I wonder if that's, if it was just like silently failing. I don't know why it would. Let's see. Ah, yeah, okay, that seemed to work. That's promising. Get like immediately connected and put some junk in the thing. Some junk in the trunk. It didn't start autoplaying.
It appears the dialogue with Professor Elm is still ongoing, but it likely requires only a few more presses of A.
Likely requires only a few more
Once the dialogue is finished, I will proceed down to step away from the professor's desk, and then left to exit the building. My main goal is to commence the journey towards Cherry Grove City. After reviewing past interactions, it's clear that pressing A continues the dialogue. It seems it will take a bit longer to clear through Elm's dialogue than expected. I will press A to exhaust the text,
he needs to learn to press
ensuring all
B
dialogue is finished
to advance dialogue.
Once dialogue is fully cleared, the plan is
Well,
to
see,
head
now if we
down,
had the
away
YouTube
from the desk,
comment
and left
chat
to leave the
feature
lab.
functionality that I
Objective:
want,
head towards Cherry
that
Grove
would
City.
be like something people could tell him in the chat. He's like, hey, you should press B to advance dialogue so you don't get trapped in dialogue loops like this.
It appears that the text within the dialog box has not changed, indicating that A was pressed multiple times without progressing the conversation, probably due to the repetitive screenshot results.
Probably
I
due
need
to the
press A
screenshot
until
results.
The dialog box
That's such a
disappears
nonsense thing to
and
say.
The conversation with Professor Elm is concluded. Then I'll move down and left to exit the lab.
Okay, so let me, I guess, do the thing that I said I would do. Well, okay, so the reason I did all this refactoring, it's probably obvious, right? Is now that this is its own separate process with its own queue, I can now pass this queue into this method. Right? And so now this method can send its status to the, I'm gesturing as if you can see me, send that to the thingamabob. So we can pass in WebSocket message queue here as well. Yeah, you see? And then we can have a status thing on the stream or whatever that's like, hey, we're calling the next, we're doing things. Things are happening. Okay, but what I also wanted to do is I wanted to change the way the buttons work. Because right now the buttons are just like, every button press is plopping up. It's like button, 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 button. But actually what I want to do, I think, is have a WebSocket message queue dot put type buttons and payload will be buttons current turn buttons and button then current button will be -1, right? And then in here we'll do the same thing, except come on, enumerate. We'll say button I. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So now we get to do some React code, which I'm not very good at React, but whatever. Okay, so buttons. So what this will be? Button history. And then current button set current button is state -1. So we set button history to just message payload buttons, and then set current button message payload current button. I probably did that with a Python. Yeah, current button. That's what I called it. And then, okay, so this button container. Hey, I'm probably just going to get rid of those like silly animations that I did. Yeah, what if I just made the button container that? Yeah, I mean, this should work aside from looking stupid.
It appears I've been stuck in the same dialogue for several turns. There may be an issue with the A button input not registering properly, or the game may be stuck. To
Oh, I
troubleshoot,
see.
I'll try pressing A several times again to ensure
Right,
the
these
dialogue
buttons were
progresses.
objects
If that
before.
fails, I might need to reset or look for alternative solutions if the issue persists.
Okay. Button. Okay, well, let's just do this. If oh, I see. This is inside a lambda. Right. Current. What did I call it? Current button equals index. That otherwise. This is not like the best way to write this. Oh, right. This needs to be inside a like that. Yeah, okay. So it's either button it's either button current button or it's just a button. And we'll say current button starts at 3. Okay, that's seems to have broken something. What's happening here? Button. Let's see. The thing is, I don't even know if it has the right state. So what I can do is I can give it some placeholder state. Is A, B, start. Okay, there we go. Button, current button. This will start at 1. Okay, now we can update the CSS. Yeah, shouldn't this be now inside a same container? Internal thoughts message. This should be. Oh, I see. Internal thoughts message. Like, obviously, that's not what it should be called, but. I'm being a little lazy here with my, like, class names and stuff. Okay, so now I can get rid of most of those button animation. Like, I still want button flash, I think, but we can get rid of button slide. Yeah, button slide and button grow. Honestly, we can just get rid of the button. Oh, can we? Yeah, well, okay. We can get rid of that. And then we'll say current button has animation. Where am I using button flash? Yeah, this actually belongs here. I probably can change this animation a bit. But whatever. Okay, why are these buttons, why do they look like this? Oh, it's because button wrapper is a div. I think before it was in like a flex container. Dealio. I'm really conflating my variable names here, but let's just call this, not my variable names, my class names. Memory tree. Okay, that looks reasonable to me. And what does it look like if there are a lot more buttons, say? Oh, I ended up with some extra comments. Oh no, hold on. Let's undo that. I've done some grave sins here. Okay, what if there's a lot of buttons? Well, let's do this the easy way perhaps and say it has a margin. It just has a margin. That's way too, okay, what if it has a margin right and a margin bottom 1 EM? Okay, that looks reasonable to me. But what if there aren't that many buttons? What if there's only a couple buttons? Okay, then you get this sort of superfluous bottom margin, but I don't care, I think I don't care. Okay. Let's get rid of that. These are strings now. And this starts as -1. Okay. This should, like, work quite reasonably, I think. No, for some reason it's not updating. Oh, now it has. Why did it take so long to connect? Why is it like lagging? Is it lagging or is it just the animation looks kind of weird? Yeah, I think the animation just kind of looks weird.
It appears it looks like we've been stuck on the same dialogue.
Oh, now he's pressing B. Look at him, he's clever.
Pressing A multiple
He figured out that he should press B.
Advance the conversation.
But now he's just
To avoid a
he's
potential
already out of
loop,
it.
I will try different actions. If pressing A doesn't work again, pressing B might close the dialogue if the game is waiting for a different input. If that still doesn't work, I might need to attempt a reset or suspect a more technical issue.
But he's caught in that notion that the game is broken again. See, I mean, this is gonna be the main annoying thing, is like sitting here waiting for the button presses. So I'd like to make it smarter about like pressing the buttons faster, if it can get away with it.
Despite pressing A and B multiple times, the dialogue with Professor Elm hasn't progressed. The issue appears to be technical rather than an in-game
come on, you
mechanic.
got out of the dialogue. You
Hard
should
reset of the
understand.
game might be necessary to continue.
See,
Before
the thing I'm
considering
not
a
checking
reset,
is if it's
I will
actually
try the
sending.
A button a few more times and then B button to check one last time if the game responds. If this fails, a technical resolution will be
Technical
required.
resolution will be required. Okay, so this seems to be mostly working. I think what I need to do is, so we currently say button has border, thusly. So let's say current button has a border that's, I don't know, green yellow. That looks kind of spiffy. And this button flash animation. Yeah, so it's like the 0. Okay, let me get rid of these stupid rotation thingies that I was working on. What I might do is like make it bounce or something. That might look a little spiffy. And then I could give them margin top, and then it would like make sense that there's that gap there. Yeah, let's make this margin, where is it? Button wrapper. Instead of margin bottom, margin top. There we go. And then we'll say button flash 0. I don't have prettier here, and also it's ended up with an extra thing. Oh, these keyframes are just the same. There's probably a better way to do these keyframes, but anyway. Transform, transform, translate y 0. %, transform, translate y -10 pixels. I don't know. And then back down to 0. This might look silly. I'm not sure. I need you to connect.
The dialogue loop persists, signaling the need for a hard reset, which is outside the scope of normal gameplay. Since hard reset options vary by device, I'll need to simulate the intention to reset. For now, I'll act as if I'm turning the game off and then on again.
Yeah, no, what was this? This animation looks pretty stupid. It needs to be timed better. That needs to go there, I think. Actually, no, this needs to go here, I think. Get rid of that keyframe entirely. Okay, let's see if he gets out of this loop of thinking he's... Okay, that animation looks better. Although I wonder if it was more like 75.
The game is still stuck in a dialogue loop with Professor Elm. Since a hard reset has been simulated already without effect, this situation is beyond my capabilities. The game is stuck in a dialogue loop with Professor Elm. A simulated hard reset was attempted, but was ineffective.
Oh, it didn't try to press buttons. Wait, what is it doing? Oh, it gave up. ChatGPT gave up. It became so convinced the game was broken that it gave up on pressing buttons and just started returning an empty array. Oh, you silly man. Oh, you very silly man. I mean, whatever. I can probably prompt engineer that behavior out of it. Let's delete the last several turns. And let me run this again. I'm just trying to make the animation look pretty at the moment. You don't need to get all worked up about the game being broken or whatever it is you think is happening. Let's see, it's... For some reason, I don't know why it takes so long to get connected. Like, Socket.io doesn't really have that problem. Right now I'm just using like whatever WebSocket libraries in Python and some React WebSocket thing. And it's not autoplaying dialogue.
It appears the dialogue with
a
Professor
thing.
Elm is still ongoing, but it likely requires only a few more presses of A to complete. Once the dialogue is finished, I will proceed down to step away from the professor's desk and then left to exit the building. My main goal is to commence the journey towards Cherry Grove City.
Oh, I think the dialogue it's reading, it's like caching the like static file server is caching stuff.
The dialogue with Professor Elm has been repeating, indicating that the A button was pressed multiple times without needing to.
Oh, it actually got out of the
Press
dialogue
A
this time.
once more to clear the last bit of dialogue.
So that's just pressing left a bunch.
After that, it's time to navigate out of the lab and start heading towards Cherry Grove City.
Boom. 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 Anyway, that's like working. That's totally working. But there's still lots of little things that I want to do. And this has been going on for longer than I thought it would take. So maybe I'll just do... What do I want to do next? I think... Well, I want to do the... Okay, let's... I'm not being very articulate. We'll say let next turn progress come on, ChatGPT or Go Pilot, yeah. Equals use state yeah, use state whatever is any. So I'll just have, for now I'll just have that be another JSON dealio. And this will just be, I'll just copy paste this for now. Next turn progress. Next turn progress. Okay, so now we can just send, well, I haven't wired it up to actually accept it. Else if message type equals next turn progress, set next turn progress message payload. Okay. What am I doing? This guy. So, we want in... Not this guy. We don't really care about this guy anymore. This guy... Okay, so basically all these print messages. So next turn progress equals preparing turn to prepare. It's most recent turn plus 1. ChatGPT response is pending. Button presses pending. I don't know. Next turn. We'll see. These I'm probably actually gonna do out of order. Next, let's just say commentary pending. Status in progress. I don't know. Whatever. I can make that something nicer looking down the line. But then we'll have this def. I want to do it here, I think. Def update status. And that'll be WebSocket message queue dot put. Type is next turn status. And payload is next turn progress. I'm worried I did progress and status and next turn progress. Yeah, progress is what I called it consistently. Okay. Now I don't need this. I mean, I'll might as well keep that. Now we can say next turn ChatGPT response equals in progress. And then say update status. Then we actually call ChatGPT and say that's completed. Update status. And then yeah, well, I want to say next turn progress. Oh my god, it keeps auto-completing the wrong thing. Button presses equals rest 0 out of new button and new buttons. Whoa. And none of this has error handling or anything. That's all stuff I'll have to do. Update status. For I button in enumerate new buttons. Rest I plus 1. Okay. Okay, then we have next turn progress commentary in progress. That'll be completed. And honestly, I don't need this last thing. Status. Okay. So now, in theory, this should update the status from this thread on the UI. And again, this is something I can like make look nicer later. Oh, there we go. ChatGPT response in progress completed. Now it's pressing buttons. Commentary in progress completed.
I've exited the dialogue with Professor Elm and am now free to leave his lab. I should head down until I'm in front of the exit and then right to leave. It appears I've been stuck in the same dialogue for several turns.
And now it's preparing turn 281.
There may be an issue with the A button input not registering properly.
In progress
or the game
completed.
may be
Button
stuck.
presses pressed 8 out of 8.
To troubleshoot, I'll try pressing A several
Commentary
times
completed.
again to ensure the dialogue progresses.
Hey.
If that fails, I might need to reset or look for alternative solutions if the issue persists.
And yeah, again, it's reading out the wrong commentary because it's like caching the old commentary like files. It's obviously easy enough to fix.
It seems I've encountered an NPC who wants to give me something. I should press A to continue the dialogue and receive the item. Then I can proceed to leave the lab and head towards Cherry Grove City.
Cool. Cool. This seems to be working pretty well. And obviously there's lots of little things to fine tune. I didn't even get to the point where I'm doing like prompt engineering. Because ideally I would like to reduce its token usage. I mean, you know, the fewer tokens it uses, the less money it costs me, and the longer I can let it run for. I also would like to integrate it with YouTube, have it, you know, read YouTube comments. And yeah, like another thing I wanted to do is like keep track of its token usage. So, you know, it's spending, you know, like theoretically it knows, the script is able to know exactly how much it's spending in terms of like token usage, you know, like API usage, right? So that should be able to be, like, that should be something we should be able to like I could set a budget, right? I could automatically set a budget and like keep track of token usage and display that on the screen. Which would be cool, I think. And then I could also have it like tie into like the YouTube API or whatever. And it's like if people send super chats, that could increase the budget in real time, right? Say like, hey, this thing has $500 worth of budget, but hey, if you send a super chat, it'll run for longer, so on and so forth. Anyway, we've got something that's working now. It will, like, I've only been doing it for, here, let me actually restart this thing to get rid of that cache, and we can just like, it's a little obnoxious because the game audio is so loud. Ideally, that's something that would be like mixing in OBS, but I can just turn the sound off for now. And let's just let it run for like, I don't know, 10 turns. I don't want to run it for too long. Until because again, I want to make it press the buttons faster in like a smart kind of way. But we can watch it for like 10 turns, you know, see how it does. I think I should be able to make this window bigger, yeah.
I've received a potion from the NPC. I should press A once more to clear the dialog box, then continue with the planned route by heading right out of the lab and south towards Cherry Grove City.
OBS should be able to hear that, I think, yeah. Yeah, you can see it's kind of slow just waiting for it to press the buttons. So I would prefer it to be able
Now
to
that I've
press
received the
buttons
potion,
faster.
I need to press A to clear the final dialog box. After that, I can finally leave the lab. It's time to head to Cherry Grove City, which is to the south. I'll press down to exit and navigate through the town.
Yeah, especially when it's just pressing a bunch of buttons that don't do anything and you're just sitting here. That's a little obnoxious.
Finally, the dialogue has finished. I need to press A to clear the text box completely.
I also need to like
Then it's time to
have a
exit the
delay,
lab
I think,
by heading to the
before
right
the
and
first
moving
button
downwards
press.
to leave the building and go towards Cherry Grove City.
Because it's a little weird that it starts pressing the buttons before it's reading the commentary about the buttons it's about to press. You know? Oh god, please press something other than down. The dialogue is not finished, buddy. You're still in the dialogue.
Seems I've triggered another dialog box. I should press A to continue
I
through
should
the
press
dialogue,
A.
and then
Okay,
proceed
there he
with the
goes.
plan to exit the lab by heading right
Oh, he's
and
gonna press
down
right. If he
until I
didn't
am
press right,
outside.
he would have hit the door. Oh, so close. So close. See, he was aligned with the door, but then he just had to press right beforehand.
All right, I've successfully navigated
Oh,
out of
now
the
he's just
dialogue
pressing down a
and am on
bunch.
my way out of the
No,
lab.
you're
I need to
stuck.
continue heading down to exit the building. Once outside, I'll start making my way towards Cherry Grove City.
I wonder. I could probably get away with just a straight up shorter delay between button presses. What I'm a little worried about is like once he starts getting into battles and stuff, where you have that like really long animation before it's going to register any button presses.
I'm almost out of the lab. Just need to
Um,
continue moving down to exit. Once outside, I'll head towards Cherry Grove City.
buddy,
I'll
you're
need to
not.
watch out for any tall grass that may contain wild Pokemon.
Buddy, you're not almost out of the lab. I'm sorry to say.
Seems like I'm still inside the lab. I
Oh,
need to
he's
make
gonna
a
press
final
left, left,
push
down.
to exit.
That should do it.
I'll press down once more to leave the building, and then adjust my direction to head towards
Left, left,
Cherry
down.
Grove City.
I believe in you. Hey, we have successfully, and he's even gonna walk far away from it. Excellent. Now the question is, does he know where Cherry Grove City is? He should, in theory. But we'll see. We'll see if ChatGPT's intrinsic knowledge of Pokemon Crystal is enough to get him to Cherry Grove City.
I've successfully
And-
exited the lab and am now outside. The character right in front of me looks like
So
they
you're probably
want to
gonna
have a
cut this
conversation.
conversation
I'll
off.
press A to
for this.
engage with them and learn what they have to say. The character seems to be
Oh yeah, see, this is a
complimenting
case.
my
Oh,
Pokemon, which
what?
indicates
No,
the
he's gonna
start
go
of a
back up.
conversation.
Oh
I
no,
should
he's gonna get stuck
continue
in the
to press
dialogue
A
again.
until the
He's
dialogue
gonna
is
try to go
concluded,
up.
then proceed to Cherry Grove City, keeping in mind to stay on the path to avoid wild Pokemon encounters when possible.
Oh, it really needs to learn to press B to get out of dialogue. And see, problems like this where it just sends so many button presses. I told it to do in my prompt to do like as many button presses as it thinks it can get away with. I should maybe do the opposite. Tell it not to try and do a whole bunch of button presses because it is not smart enough to plan out in advance like at all.
I need to finish this dialogue with the
He's just gonna get stuck in
and
the
then
stupid
continue my
dialogue
journey
loop.
to Cherry Grove City. After the dialogue, I'll head north and then east, sticking to the path to
Also, he
avoid
thinks it's
wild
north.
Pokemon
He thinks Cherry
encounters.
Grove City is north when it's west. Also, I assume Cherry. I don't actually remember Gen 2 what the second town is called. I assume it's Cherry Grove. That some character said that, and that's where he's gotten this from. But it's to the west. Also, he keeps pressing A 3 times, and so he gets stuck in this. Oh, and look at the next turn. He's doing 10 button presses again. God. Oh, I bet he's just gonna do the same thing the next turn. Oh, no, actually that was the last turn. We'll never know what he was going to do next turn. Anyway, that's good progress for today. I mean, we've got some. I could theoretically stream this, right? It would run forever, but it doesn't really have any error handling. Yeah, I think if it encounters an exception, it'll just replay the same turn over and over again, which is not ideal. It should like actually handle errors, and then I could like display them on the front end. I haven't done the YouTube comment thing integration yet. That'll be good to do. Yeah, lots of little things to do. I don't know if I'm gonna stream again, but I probably will try and finish this project. And then I don't know if I ever actually will run this as a stream. I don't know if I've done all this work. I probably should. But it's mostly just a factor of when OpenAI is actually going to increase the API limits. Is the main determining factor of like when it would be a good time to actually run the stream. Anyway, if you've stuck around this long, thanks for watching. Yeah, I think I will call it there. Woo. Okay.